And we're live. Okay, so I have been giving a set of lectures. Are you guys with me? Are you guys okay? Everything cool? You guys see the screen? All great?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Okay, guys. I hope that this lecture is going to be cool. It's a bit more philosophical lecture. I have been preparing some materials for the DPO and the bachelor's first year about kind of like not philosophy, but styles and genres and what's behind each type of style and genres and what are the principles that sit behind something like pop music. And I wanted to continue the articles that we were analyzing lately about tempo, key, and there was a next step was melody. But for two reasons I didn't continue on this for today. Maybe I'll pick it up again in the future lectures. But the reason number one is that the Grammys were yesterday, 2 days ago, right? And I personally really don't care about these things, but they are events of very big significance. And something happened that made me meditate about the Grammys and to decide to make a lecture about analyzing, like first discussing something important about pop music, and then analyzing the three kind of songs that I chose that I think represented the Grammys, and see where the Grammys are, not the Grammys, but where American mainstream pop music is right now, and also to discuss the cultural significance of something like this. So that's kind of what's going on today. So as usual, well, these are my, we discussed this the last 3 weeks. It's just like one time you guys told me we don't know what's going on with the summative assessment. So I decided to start the lectures just with this. So it's a reminder, you know it. You guys are okay. The guys that are here with me today, you're okay. You have given me, I think, all the deliveries or most of the deliveries. So everything is cool. Deadline is Friday 10th. So let's go to classroom 1 second, because there is a couple of things that you have delivered to me that I would like to hear together. So I guess that they're gonna be short. Let's see. We have key meditations to listen. Yeah. The composition too. I noticed that Olga and Masha delivered. I will not. I'm just checking if any of them. I will not hear them now because I want to hear them when they are here. So I'm really happy that Olga gave us a song, but we will not hear it right now. I have in key meditations. I have some work from Grisha. So I don't think this is gonna be so long. So I would like to give it a little listen. And this is like sad chain. So what Grisha? What's the name? What was the mood that you got? The feelings.
It was like heartbroken. It was very, very depressing. I don't remember for sure. I can look it up. It
I
was
can look it up
like
too. It's really easy for me to look it up. Like if you want, I can do it. Actually, I have it here, right here. I can see it. So you had number 3, which is passionate and deep. It evokes sorrows, grief, despair, wailing, and
yeah.
self-punishment. So, so let's see what came out from there. I'm just gonna press play. Yeah. Great. Nice, man. I see an electropop face starting to appear in your life, bro. That's really great. Nice, dude. Dude, that's so great, man. I hope this becomes a song of yours.
I already developed it a little bit.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. That's what I wanted. What I was hoping that this course could be like. Awesome. Dude, this is awesome, bro. And I love the tones you chose, the synths and everything. It's really great. Awesome. Yeah, that's super good, man. That's super good. Congratulations, bro. I really love it. I'm gonna get my iLog 1 second because I realized that I want to show you something of my own world. Just a second. Alright, I got it here. Sorry, guys. I got my iLog. Just a moment.
I don't think we can hear you now. Oh no, something bad happened. We don't hear you.
Hey. I see that there is sound. Wait, just a moment. Now, can you
Yeah,
talk?
it's better
Yeah,
now.
now I can hear you. Yeah. It just like when I connected my sound card, it went crazy. When I connected the iLog, sorry, it went crazy. Привет, Olga. Happy to see you. How are you today? Hey. Are you there, Olga?
Hi. Yes, I'm fine.
Great. By the way, I was giving the guys this news that yesterday I was discussing with the teachers. We had a meeting and I was discussing with the teachers and they were expressing. I mean, I want to tell you, especially Yepishev told me like, man, Olga has been really like working really hard lately, and I really appreciate her work and it was really cool. So I just wanted to tell you, sometimes I become a bit heavy like about your performance and the performance of you all. And when I hear good things, I also want to tell them to you. So it seems like people are recognizing your efforts, all of you, not only you. And so yeah, we're grateful for that. Just wanted to mention that. I noticed as well that you gave me a song, and we will hear it in a second, okay? And I was showing you something. We were discussing this key meditations work that we have here, the summative assessment, and we heard Grisha's one that is wonderful, and that inspired me to show you something that I made recently that is connected. I'm seeing here in key meditations. I also have yours, so let's hear yours right now. What key meditation you had? Let me see, Olga. You had 23, and you had strength, wildness, passion, jealousy, fury, negativity, and the will to fight. Damn it! So that's cool. What key did you end up with? All. Do you remember the key?
To be honest, I don't know because I was just jamming on guitar.
Got it. But you didn't went and search for the key, you just like produce jamming on the guitar that had that feeling. Yeah, am I correct?
Not exactly. I just checked some reference which I think suit this mood, and I've noticed that they use some half tones and just try to set the same mood there.
Okay, gotcha. And were you? It's really. I ask this with 0% judgment. I just very curious about this. Were you with us in that lecture when we explained everything, or you were not with us? I just really don't remember. I'm sorry for that.
No, I wasn't, and
Okay, the reason
probably I
that's really.
didn't even see the slides.
Yeah, I wanted to show you something because it's gonna be useful for you for life for later. And I just want you for you to know that this exists. Like in that lecture, I shared this list. Just one day you can come and see it. You see, these are all the keys connected with the emotion that they are there. So the idea was like I really don't care that you didn't do it like this. I'm telling you this just to help you in the future. Maybe this can be helpful. You see, like he was all those emotions, and it was telling you which key was connected with that emotion, which musical key. So that's all. Just so you know that this is here. It's in lecture 15 at the end of the slides. Okay, so let's go back to this. Thanks a lot, and let's have a look. Oh, nice. What's here, man? Awesome. Yeah, I love this. I love this. It shows me the emotion that I wanted. It would be cool. The emotion that was required. Yeah, that was required. It's great. It's great, really. Like, I mean, I really like it. Well, you know, this is my type of music, so you got me there. You hooked me up. So, don't know what else I can add. I mean, I really would have liked you to start by looking at the key. I am happy you arrived to the same result because it really sounds like that. It sounds like. Again, I'm going to see it again. 23. It sounds like strength, wildness, passion, jealousy, fury, negativity, and the will to fight. It absolutely it sounds like that. That's why you get the grade that you're getting, and it's really well done. So it's super cool. Thanks. So sorry for the so little feedback, but I just don't have so much to say. It's like you nailed it, and that's it. Remember that there are these lists, and look, and you see, like I'm writing now a piece for the movie. I hope that Pro Tools. Well, I already opened Pro Tools, and I don't think it's gonna go crazy. Let me see. As you know, I'm writing the soundtrack for this movie still. Like, it's such a titanic task. And following our set of lectures, I started the process of writing that song like this. You see, like options for key in Shalem intro. And so I went to our list literally, and I was like, okay, I have these options: D flat minor, F minor, G minor, A flat minor, and A minor and A flat minor. It was like A major, A flat major, and A flat minor. Yeah, these were my options. And then I went and jammed with all of them, and it was so fast. I mean, I had the emotion right there for me. Wow. What? Ah, I see. Sorry guys, I'm having some technical issue here. Yeah, I see. It's some bullshit. I'm not gonna... I need to click a lot of things in order to fix this, and I guess I will do it. If I do it, I'll do it in the end. I don't want to lose time on the lecture. I have some issue with Pro Tools, and to show you what I want to show you, it's gonna take me a while, and it's not necessary. Alright, boo, I wanted to show you. Okay, let's continue. Maybe I'll try later. So I have also Olga's single that I really wanted to hear, and I have the tempo meditations. Yes, Olga, tell me.
Yeah, but the single is a little bit unfinished because we need to record vocals and melody. Like,
do you want me to wait?
Yeah.
Do you want me to wait like a bit?
Yes, please. But
okay.
We can hear also BPM.
Yes. Let's do it. That's what we're gonna do. So let's jump to the tempo worlds. Let's see Olga right away. Great. So we have You Took My Song or what? You Took My Song, right? The song I sent.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
took
Awesome.
your song and sample from
Awesome.
cappella.
I love the sounds you used already, like right from the bat. Dude, like you have, I mean, haven't heard your music for a long time, and I'm so extremely excited about your development. It's like, it sounds like your personality, like, so much. I mean, I don't know your personality in full, because I cannot say that I know you fully as a person, because we have interacted only so much, but what I feel from you, like, this really sounds like that, and it has a great character. I'm really enjoying this. Hear the next BPM version. That was 76, and this is all in wait, let me remember. Wait, so you go andante, so this was all in andante. Okay, great. Yeah. It's just such a different feeling. It's like one of them is the contemplation of something, and this is more like the action of something, but it's the same key. It's really a fascinating exercise. Yeah, and the production you're doing is really great. Like, it's super great. It's so great. This is super cool. Thank you so much, all. That's really great. I'm really happy to hear your music again. It's super cool. Let's see. I'm gonna hear one more Tempo Worlds from somebody else. We heard one song of Grisha. I have Uliana here, and I have also Andrei. So I'm gonna hear Uliana's Tempo Worlds here. I have the Uliana got the, let's see it. Uliana, you got Allegro. So let's see. Uliana got Allegro. So we have 156 and 120. Let's see if it's the same song. This is one of your songs, or it's my song?
This is mine.
Aha, cool. Nice. Dude, I love your evolution a lot as well, musically. It's so great.
Bright in the night. Take off your clothes, show me the light. Do you believe in love at first sight? I want to shine bright in the night. My body shines bright in the night. Take off your clothes, show me the light.
By the way, do you know who is... it's a bit of an old school thing I'm going to share with you, but do you know LTJ Bookham?
Who?
LTJ Bookham.
LTJ.
It's a very legendary DJ of by the way, look at there in my YouTube feed. Wait, let me go back. Oh no, I guess it's not gonna appear again. Whatever, it was Marfa. There it is, Marfa. Live in Toronto. Boo, we miss you. So LTJ Bookham is a great jungle DJ from the UK. I'm gonna send you one album because I know that
Marfa has a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Sorry?
Yeah, really?
What?
Yes, Kino.
I got lost for a second. Can you repeat? Sorry?
Marfa has a YouTube channel. I didn't know.
Asking. Yes.
Yeah.
And there is always like one comment. The first comment in all the videos is me like, like, yeah, go guys. Like, yeah, check it out. Like, it's she's documenting her life in Toronto and shit. LTJ Bookham, Journey Inwards. So I'm gonna send you that album. It's amazing, man. It's such a good jungle. Like, it's amazing. So I know you're quite inspired by jungle right now. That's why I'm sending you this. So Actually, I think I'm gonna put it in the channel of albums that we have, but I'll send this because I really want to inspire you a bit if I can. So just a moment, Juliana. Okay, there you go. I sent it. So this is great.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is kind of old school. It's really old school stuff. It's kind of like I don't know, early 2000s maybe, but and it's less dark. This is more bright. You know. That what we're hearing now, but anyways, I just wanted to share it with you. Okay, let's continue. So I'm gonna jump to the other BPM. This was 156, and now let's go to 120. Ha! Fuck. And this is the heartbeat, the tempo of our heart, right? 120. And let's jump a bit. I'm gonna jump back. Which one do you like the most?
First one, the
156, right?
156.
Yeah.
56.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing tempo, and it's just like dangerous. It sounds dangerous, you know, how it should. It should sound dangerous. It's so, I mean, were you guys, I mean, after you did this experiment, did you had a feeling like, fuck, man, like tempo is so important? Like, or was this so clear to you before? Like, how do you feel about this?
You know, like I had a very slow tempo, like 66.
Ah, let's hear it, by the
And
way.
actually, I did like your song, and I heard it the first version, and then I heard it like 2 times slower, basically, and it sounded like I liked it more.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's
So
go and
yeah,
hear it.
so I just know now that sometimes I can like slow down the tempo 2 times and it's gonna
Yes.
sound better.
And you will have a different song, of course. That's the whole point, and that's the main point, that it is a different song. And it sounds dangerous as it should be. Yeah, should be. They are just so different songs, and I mean, I was thinking that the emotional impact that changing the tempo will have will be less intense than what it really is, but it's so intense, like the change. Like, let's have a listen.
I changed almost nothing, just added a few instruments,
Yep.
and it's another song. Like 66, it has a weird intro though, but yeah.
I'm gonna start with the 76 one, with the fast one. Let me just for curiosity, let's start here. Wait, let's listen. Cool. Nice intro you made, yeah. Oh man, I love the sounds you chose, bro. They're great. Let's go to the soft one, to the slower one. Let's go back to 76, one moment. Yeah. Awesome. This went exactly how I wanted. Thank you guys for submitting your work. Andrei, I will hear yours in offline because I want to go into the lecture. So thanks a lot, guys. That's awesome. Like, the more you give me work, the more we can have these discussions and feel those changes and differences and think about our own songwriting. So thanks. Thank you very much. So we are, as usual, my lectures start with this big summary of the course, blah, blah, blah. This is the new stuff we discussed last week. Tempo affects arousal. We discussed about this theory of arousal, and I forgot the name of the second word. It was, wait a second, I'm sorry for that. I just have a little bit of a it was like a little bit of a flaky memory right now because of the tiredness. So it was arousal, and valence was the second word. Arousal. Yeah. emotions leaving to have two main components, arousal and valence. Actually, yeah, this is here. I remember last night. Wait, oh no, I'm in another place. Sorry. Here it is. Like emotions have two main components, arousal and valence. This is where we were last week. And these psychological terms refer to, and I was telling you, arousal is amplitude, intensity, valence is like frequency or quality. So these are two emotional sides, and we manipulate arousal with tempo, basically. That's what we discussed last week. In normal conditions, a new human heartbeat in between 60 and 100. A song is too fast or too slow, depending on how far away we are from the human heartbeat. There is a tempo spectrum, and we have categorized all musical tempos. This called in the lecture tempo world. So that was the exercise we did. Tempo changes inside a song are valuable resources to make people feel something different inside the same framework of the song. And when making an album, think about using different, tempos, and that's all. So, have you seen the Grammys? Do you care anything about this? Was it relevant to you? Not relevant to you?
I haven't seen them, but I read a few articles about them.
Yes. That's Grisha's answer. Anybody else?
No, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I mean, I personally kind of like, there are two Leos, right? Like the Leo who is a musical fan and the Leo who is a bachelor's director. The Leo who is a musical fan doesn't give a shit about this at all. Like, I have never paid attention to it, never seen it, never care. The Leo that is a teacher in the, like, running the bachelor's really cares about this. Well, because it's an indication of modern culture and where things are. And as you know, well, let's proceed, and I will reveal the whole thing as we proceed. Today we're going to talk about the influence of music in culture. Well, we analyze some of the singles that won the 2023 Grammys and discuss some of their production and lyrics fichkas. This lecture will be a philosophical journey rooted in music production and in historical appreciation. So we're going to discuss a little bit of philosophy, and actually I'm going to bring back some of the slides of the philosophy course that we had together, but they are updated in the context of pop music because I recently gave this lecture to the DPO, and I gave this lecture like a month ago, and I always wanted to share some of these thoughts with you. So I hope that you guys are there. Now, by the way, I love this GIF. I love this GIF, by the way. I was really happy when I found it. It's like two guys fighting about their opinion. I hate your opinion. And then they scream to each other. So many of the ideas I will discuss today with you are my opinion. I don't mean to present them as the truth. So just saying that because we will talk about something in the end of the lecture that it's about the performance of Sam Smith. You all know the performance of Sam Smith in the Grammys?
I'm sorry, my love, for interruption.
What's going on?
Right now the guys arrived for the running track. I'll close you the door.
Yeah, that's really bad. So do you guys know about the performance of Sam Smith?
He performed on the Grammys, you mean?
Yes,
I
yesterday.
don't know. No, I missed it.
Okay, that's fine. Do you know the song Unholy by Sam Smith?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, and anybody else there? Like, no? Are we talking in the vacuum here, or you guys are with me?
I'm here.
Do you know what I'm talking about? About the
About Sam Smith's
about Unholy.
performance?
About performance and Unholy.
No.
Okay. Well, we will be unfolding this as we proceed. I'm just curious to see where we are, if we're in the same place and stuff, and let's continue. So, what are our objectives? To identify philosophical currents that gave way to pop culture in the 20th century, identify characteristics of pop music, discuss the modern trends in music via the selection of the music awarded in the Grammys, the music awards. Wait, I have a mistake here. I'm going to fix it right now. The music awards in 2023 Grammys, and explore some production cases with some examples. So I want us to initiate the process of understanding the emergence of pop music, initiate the process of deepening our understanding of pop music, provide understanding of contemporary trends, and see some patterns. So, okay, this course is called Music Production of a Single. And by the way, Olga, are you there?
Yes.
I kind of wrote these words thinking a little bit about you. because I don't know where you are musically. And before I go there, I ask you, where are you musically now? Like, 'cause I mean, I have always perceived you more like as a musical exploration, landscape slash ambient slash electronic music leaning. But most likely this is a wrong impression. And I want to ask you, where are you musically now? In your life?
I like experiment with different genres. It's for me, it's more about the sound and the mood and the atmosphere, not only ambient. Like
Got it.
I write jungle as well and some rock stuff,
Great, great.
so it doesn't matter.
Great, great. That's cool. So I wrote this just in case, okay, guys? Because you know I'm very experimental and fringe guy. I mean, I like to be on the frontiers of music. But this course is called Music Production of a Single, and I'm interpreting that from the point of view of the pop song. It can be rock or electronic, but I mean, I'm talking about the pop structure in general. We can also venture outside of the pop if you think it would be desirable. My goal thus far with this course is to give you controlling your songwriting production skills course so you can create singles. So that's why this course is kind of like pop oriented, you know. And that was a nice challenge for me too, and I like a nice challenge. But if you feel that you want me to explore something more in the borderlines of music, I would happily do that. Just tell me. If you don't tell me that, I'm not talking to Olga alone, to you all. If you don't tell me that, I will continue in the pop tracks, you know, because I think that it's important to us to see this. Yeah, who wants to talk there?
Yeah, I just want to say that I have some tough times with lyrics sometimes and
Yes.
vocal melodies. Yeah, because I don't use them that much in my music. But in general, I'm ready to experiment with any forms, including pop.
Great, great. We have discussed in the course some conversations about lyrics and vocal melodies, and we will go back to see more of that in the future as well, for sure, because we still have the whole other side of the course to cross, so there is a lot more stuff coming your way. If you guys want me to cover something in particular, write me on Telegram. Hey man, I would like to explore this topic. I want to learn more about making beats, whatever, and I will adapt as I proceed, okay? I would be very happy to that. So, now, that being said, I want to talk 1 second about why pop is how it is. Let me give you the introduction of what's happening with this lecture so you understand clearly what's going on. Do you guys remember Ben Shapiro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
No. So Andrei says no. Ben Shapiro is a American conservative commentator. I'm saying this to Andrei. I know that you guys know. It's an American conservative commentator that I'm going to be honest with you, I quite like. I understand that he's a controversial figure and many people hate him and think he's a homophobe, transphobe motherfucker. I mean, he has his things that are difficult to digest, I understand, but in general, I like to see extreme points of view and then compare them, you know. So I'm really into Ben Shapiro's work and I hear it kind of regularly. And the other side that I hear to compensate for this is the Young Turks. Do you know the Young Turks?
No.
The Young Turks is like Ben Shapiro, but on the left. So it's the exact opposite of Ben Shapiro. It's 100% the exact opposite of Ben Shapiro. It's like Ben Shapiro is in favor of marriage, conservative values. He's not in favor of LGBT. I mean, he's not like he hates gays or something. He just doesn't want this to be coded into law because he doesn't believes in. He believes in the traditional biblical institution of marriage and this kind of things. And the Young Turks is exactly the opposite. It's 100% the opposite. It's the other side of things. The Young Turks is more like, you know, absolute liberalism, like kind of like this modern trend of freedom. Well, I don't like to call it like that because the people on the conservative side are also striving for freedom. It's more like the you know, modernist, secular, no grand narrative vibe. You know, do you get the feeling of kind of what I'm saying? Because I don't know if I explain it right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking about Ben Shapiro in one side, conservative, and the Young Turks on the left, the other side. And last night, when I was preparing this lecture for today, before I started preparing the lecture, I heard the Ben Shapiro analysis of Sam Smith's performance in the Grammys. And the end of this lecture will be to listen to what he had to say about that. But this led me to think like, holy shit, like we should analyze this together. Let me see the time, because I know I don't have so much time as I always think. So we may be gonna take a couple of minutes over. So okay, guys. So we're gonna go now to philosophy. Are you ready for that? Are we cool to go to philosophy for a moment?
Yeah.
Yes.
So my goal is to remind you something we already. Andrei said no. Andrei said no. I see. I understand. It's too early for that. But anyways, we can do it. Anyways, you have no choice. I ask a question fakely because you had no chance to change the course of things in this case. But
I know.
but yeah, it's part of the fishcast of being a teacher. So I want to discuss for a moment why pop it is how it is. And by the way, Olga, when I asked you where are you musically, you said a couple of keywords that I got really excited when I heard them. And those keywords were like, you said like, I'm more interested in the exploration of texture and form. I think you said something like that. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes.
like I don't want to stick to the genre because some artists work with different genres, but still sound like them
The same.
themselves.
Yes. That's really great that you use these words because it's going to be connected with what we're going to say. So you have, if you remember clearly all my philosophy course, you will remember these slides because this was the end of the course. But again, I gave it a twist, a spin, in order to talk about pop music. And I did this for other course that I'm teaching, but anyways. In the middle of the 20th century, there is a movement that claimed that modernist rejection of tradition didn't go far enough. Modernists was the place where we were philosophically at the end of the 19th century. Before I get too far away about this, I just want to remind you what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to discuss first why pop is how it is. Then we're going to see the songs that were in the Grammys, and then we're going to have a discussion about that. And then in the end, we're going to close the lecture with Ben Shapiro's thoughts on this and see if we agree with that or not. That's my goal. I want us to think a little bit about how important this really is for culture, or maybe our conclusion is going to be, no, it's not important. This is just bullshit. Ben Shapiro is stupid. We shouldn't even be discussing this. So just so you know, that's what I'm trying to do. So at the beginning of the 20th century, there was like modernism, and the postmodernisms in the middle of the 20th century were saying like, hey, the modernists are not extreme enough. Modernists, they were believing in some sort of universal truth. Like Ben Shapiro is a little bit of a modernist, like a reason, historical progress, and true and objective. And around the 50s, some guys were saying like, hey, this is Derrida and Foucault. We study them in that philosophy course. They said something like, hey, objectivity does not exist. Let's reject objectivity. And postmodernism challenges the validity of most basic of the old ideas. Like, I remind you again, we're trying to understand why pop music is how it is. One of the main differences between modernism and postmodernism is on how they use language, and music is language, obviously. So the classic way of seeing language is like, hey, there is a firm and objective link between objects and the world. And postmodernists see language more like, no. Language is not objective. Language is purely self-referential. So there is an apple, and then I describe the apple, and I'm using a word apple, and that word may have a connection with what the object is, and a whole bunch of ideas that are connected, like symbology appear when you see the world like that. But when you're a postmodernist, you say it more like, no, wait, like this is just a word. It doesn't have any other value beyond the fact that it is just a word, and it is sort of describing the word apple, and that's all it is. Like symbology is not something that fits so nicely into the world of a postmodernist. The same happens with identity, and this is all super important in the conversation that we're going to have in the end. So I hope that this is kind of like stimulating. That's my hope. The same happens with identity. Identity is a reflection of our culture and our subjective ways. Those who belong to the postmodernist movement generally adopted skepticism, cynicism, and a rejection of grand narratives, philosophies, ideologies, and other kind of objective truth. So let me spill the, like they say in English, spill the beans a little bit, which means I'm going to tell you a little bit what's going to happen further down the road in our lecture. Sam Smith performed a song in the Grammys with, what's the name of the other lady that he was performing with? Wait, I'll tell you.
Kim Petras.
Yeah, Kim Petras. And their song, it's called Unholy, and the song was portrayed kind of like it was all around Lucifer. It was basically Sam Smith was Lucifer, and the whole thing there was like a representation of hell. And so you see, like, if you take this idea serious, it's like hell and Satan, and I'm not talking about it in the biblical context. I'm talking it more about it like in the, let's say, historical context, good and evil. Like, you know, let's grab a representation of evil and put it at the center of the Grammys and put it at the top of the musical hierarchy and show to the world. So that we kind of like spin around these ideas nowadays, or not. That's the question I'm kind of putting on the table. If you are a postmodern, not you the student. I mean, if one is a postmodernist, you can say, well, whatever, I can just make a show about Satan, but I don't really mean it, because it's just like, I'm skeptical about these grand narratives. Do you understand what I'm trying to say there? Or am I not making sense? Okay. So, Sam Smith comes to the Grammys and
So
performs
you
like the
basically
devil.
said that it's okay for a postmodernist to do a show about Satan. That's what you're saying.
I'm really not saying anything. I have my own opinion about these matters, but in this lecture, I don't want to guide you towards my opinion. All I'm trying to do is to put a couple of questions to try to make us meditate about the meaning of these things, if there is, because maybe there isn't a meaning. If you're a postmodernist and you say there is nothing like a grand narrative, what do I mean by a grand narrative? That 10,000 years ago, somebody thought about the word Satan, and we have for 10,000 years been thinking about the word Satan, and then that thing is put in the Grammys. And so there are two ways of seeing this. Way A, it doesn't matter. Like, what do I mean by this? Whatever, it's just another performance. And the way B of seeing this is like, it really matters that you put like some sort of satanic situation in something like the Grammys. Because you're kind of like creating a cult around evil, you know, like a positive cult around evil. The second narrative is like, no, it doesn't matter. And I guess that there's a third narrative, which is like, no, this is a satire or a joke or some sort of provocation, you know. And that's what I wanted to discuss in this class. Go ahead.
No, it's not about music, but a very similar discussion was about like this Dahmer series on Netflix.
What's up with that series? I'm not aware.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer is like a serial murderer, and they portrayed him very personally and even like positively in some cases.
Yes.
And like girls have a crush on the actor right now, and
Yes.
he wins different like awards for portraying this serial killer.
Well,
I think that's similar to what you're saying.
Exactly.
Right?
And then you have three options to analyze this. Like, some people get bothered about this and say something kind of like, hey, be careful with who are your heroes, because this is important for society. And there's some people that said, I don't give a fuck, this doesn't matter. And that's kind of the postmodernist view. You see, no grand narrative, skepticism and cynicism towards like philosophies and this kind of objective truth. You see, if there is no objective truth, I cannot say that making a Satanist show in the I don't even want to call it a Satanist show, because I don't think it's a Satanist show. Sorry, it just slipped my mind. But making a performance about Satan in the Grammys, if you don't believe in any objective truths, you can say, dude, what's the difference between doing that and performing a show about a dog barking? You know, there's no difference. And of course, there is a lot of people that don't agree with that view, that see it just like, bro, you're grabbing Satan, which is the representation of evil, and you're putting it in the center of culture. And this matters. Why is this happening, etc.? So these are the questions that I'm kind of asking today. Continuing with why pop sounds how it sounds and why it is how it is. Postmodernism leans towards the idea that there is no objective reality and things can have multiple identities. You see, it's like, no, I'm not talking about Satan here. I'm talking about something else. But this thing is Satan, but I'm not talking about Satan, really. Like, that's the second interpretation of some event like that. Relative molar claims, you see, no, this is not like bad, you know, it's just like Satan can be seen as good or bad. You just don't know. It depends on the context, something like that. And things being for the sake of themselves. You see, it's like, no, this is just whatever. We did it because it doesn't matter. It's like, who cares if it's Satan or no Satan? Like, it's just for the sake of it. And that's, of course, I have an opinion about this, and you know that opinion already, but I just want to stimulate your mind and make you think about the meaning of music in culture, because let's see if this is really important or not. That's the question that I'm asking today. All of this, of course, means that there is no difference between high and low culture for the postmodernist, because you cannot say that one art is better than the other. You cannot say that Bach and Beethoven are better than pop, because it's just like, it's relative, it's not absolute, it's not objective. So how can there be a better art or another art if everything is just like relative to each other? So instead of focusing on the great narrative of the historical process, postmodernists focus on the subjective truth of each person. This is super important about why pop music sounds how it sounds. Postmodernism is ironic and playful, and it treats forms of authority with skepticism. Let's go and put, I mean, you know, in the Grammys yesterday, 2 days ago, Jill Biden, the wife of Joe Biden, presented one of the awards. I mean, it's impossible to not think that this is not an important event, even though that I personally, like I told you initially, this lecture, don't give a shit about this at all. But it's a meaningful cultural event because the wife of the president of the United States even was there. The postmodernist mindset shows a finger to that. It's like, fuck you, fuck authority, fuck all these structures, you know, we don't need anything of this. And that's why we can go and make a show about whatever we want, because there is nothing to respect here. So what is the meaning of all of this? Now we are talking about why pop music sounds like this. And this is a 100% slide that you have never seen before. My own personal claim is that under the influence of postmodernism, a pop moment of our culture was crafted. No surprise. This is where we are right now. And that's not my opinion. That's a fact. I mean, it's a fact that we are in the postmodern moment, you know, and maybe we're even further than the postmodern moment, post-postmodern moment or something. In this period, and this is important, and it's going to connect to what Olga said a while ago, in this period, language and meaning do not sit at the center. I mean notes. But rather referencing and lack of objective meaning of language have taken over and reflected in the use, and it's reflected in the use mostly of texture and imagery to describe complex ideas. Why? Because for the postmodernist, wait a second, I don't remember if I already discussed what. Yeah, I remind you that we discussed about language here, back here. It's like postmodernists don't have, what's going on? All good? Sorry. Postmodernists don't have a relationship with language like modernists have. And so this is reflected in their choices of aesthetical decisions. Like, I mean, basically, because my wife interrupted me for a second, I lost my thread for one moment. What I was exactly trying to say is that because of how postmodernism is, we don't use language so much as we used to use it in the past. And our music is more texture and imagery rather than notes and words. You know, and maybe words are very important, but certainly notes have taken a sidestep, and you will see what I mean in a second. I think I'm going to be able to articulate it better. This phenomenon has accentuated itself further over the years, taking into a kind of monotonic and sensorial search in pop music. What I mean by this is that the search moved away from the notes and language towards the sensation and texture. And there is a song, man, I always forget the name of this artist, and actually you guys gave me this artist, so I hope you're going to remember. There is a song which is this lady dancing in front of this old rich man, and she has like leg horses. What's the name of this artist? She has the horses of the legs of a horse. Do you remember that? Yo, are you there?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that you know. I just don't remember. No, that's not a good example. Wait, pop and pop production case. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what's the name. I'm thinking about a song in particular. It's a good example of what I mean. Yeah, this song. It's Sevdaliza, Human. Remember or not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that's a great example of what I'm trying to say. And this is an amazing song. This is not a negative thing I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, in the moment of postmodern culture where we are now, music has migrated from being something like, imagine, like the top pop singles a couple of decades ago, like 2 decades ago, was something like Stevie Wonder or something. Like, and that's just notes and notes and notes and notes and notes and notes and key chord changes and the beef cast and everything. And we are not there anymore. Songs right now are more about sensation and texture. And of course, because of the thing I'm telling you before, the grand narrative has been cancelled. The thing has been focusing on the individual. Pop music is a lot about the individual. Like what I feel, what I want, what I care. And I mean, music has been more like, I mean, kind of like used to have a more like sort of like global. I'm not talking about even in the last 10, 20 years. I'm talking about historically. Music has been more about a description of the whole world and what's going on. And it has become more about atomic description of the individual. So, do you get my point here? Am I making sense right now?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, is that only Grisha yeah, or kind of everybody yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
super. Now, check this out. Wait, this is where perhaps I wanted... it's not... I didn't copy it, so let me just get this quickly from here. This is where I wanted to show this slide here, and I made a little mistake. Wait, here it is. This is where I wanted to show this slide. So, it's kind of like evidence to prove my point. So, the point I just said is like music moved from notes and language to sensation and texture, and this is the percentage of Billboard Hot 100 #1 hits with a key change. And so we went from 30-40% in the 60s to 0 in the 2011s. So, I mean, if you don't believe what I'm saying, just like this is a great argumentation for it. And again, I'm not saying that it's negative. I'm just describing something that is happening, you know. Music stopped being an exploration of language, and when I'm saying language, I'm meaning music, and it became more an exploration of texture. And it used to be more a thing about a grand narrative, and it became more an exploration of the individual. So, no surprises there. So, what is pop music in this context? And we're almost done with these slides. This is my thoughts on the matter. I'm just kind of paraphrasing everything I wanted to say above. Pop music attempts to transmit messages in the most straightforward way possible. It remains the most accessible vehicle to transmit a musical idea to the masses. And I think that this slide and this slide is very important for the context of our course, because it's kind of like we need to meditate about what the hell we're doing. We're trying to make a pop single. Okay, what does it mean to make a pop single? To make a pop single means to try to transmit a message in the most straightforward way possible. It's music conceived with a strategy in mind to reach a mass audience. The moment, and that's, for me, that's the definition of pop. The moment you start thinking about how am I going to reach a mass audience, you are already in the pop world. And I think that's a little bit what discerns pop from rock music. When we can also discuss rock music. I have these slides developed like on the philosophy of rock music, and we can also discuss it. It's a really great lecture. If you guys want to have it, we can have it. But now we're in the pop one. One of the main points of pop music seems to be that people can digest it without prior musical knowledge. Of course, there is a drive to dance in the pop world, disco and gym. I think this is important. This is not обязательно, it's not mandatory, but we shouldn't forget that a lot of pop intention is to put people to dance. Over the years, pop has ventured to a more dark side of things. I think that this is connected to social media. That's another conversation. It's not so important for what we're discussing now. And nowadays, pop music can be expressed almost in any subgenre because music has evolved so much. And well, of course, pop and hip-hop have merged so interestingly that it's almost impossible to distinguish one of them from another. So, I need to take a microscopic toilet break really quickly, and I'll be right back, and we will have a discussion about music and culture. Sorry for that. Just gotta run quickly. Just a moment. right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Sorry for that. I'm back. Wait, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't switch off the mic. Okay, great. So thank you. Let's have a discussion about music and culture. So far everything clear, right? I wanted to talk about just why pop sounds how it sounds. We move away from language, we're into texture. Any disagreements with this idea or agreements with this idea? Like, am I crazy? It doesn't make sense, or how do you feel about it?
It kind of does for me, at least.
And this is in this case we will talk a lot about my opinion, but this is really not my opinion. Like, this is when I sit down and I talk with Luis Marciales, remember my teacher of philosophy last year, this is exactly what he told me. So I mean, and I'm not saying that he knows the truth, I'm saying like this is mainstream philosophy basically. It's something that many people understand, and I think it's important for us to understand this because we are in the battle of making a single that is successful. I mean, this is what this course is about. And yeah, we need to know how to manipulate culture if we want to. Wait, my wife opened the window and I'm freezing. I need to close it. Sorry. Just a moment. Up. So, not gonna freeze anymore. All right, let's go. All right, so I'm gonna need your help, and we're gonna have a conversation, and I'm gonna write down your opinions. Okay? So. The first question is, and we will explore these questions individually in a second. I'm just presenting you the question and then we will go to focus on them. Are the contents of a pop song as relevant to human history as the works of Plato and Bach? You know, that's the first question I'm asking. What role does music play in the shaping of culture? That's the second question I'm asking. And the third question I'm asking is, if a song wins a Grammy, I put it in parentheses here, position itself at the top of the hierarchy of songs in that year, can we use that song to describe profound elements of the society that gave that award? So here are the questions, and like, let's see. I mean, the first question I'm gonna give my opinion first because I just want you to know that I'm not against this idea. I think yes. Like, are the contents of a pop song as relevant to human history as the works of Plato and Bach? I personally think that yes. What do you guys think? Is this everybody agrees with this? Yes.
Yes.
I think Olga said yes.
No.
Andrei says no. Like, Bach and Beethoven is more important than the works of pop artists of the day. Am I correct?
Yep.
All right. Everybody, let's see. What other opinions do we have here? Who is on the yes camp and who is on the no camp? And is Andrei the only one who is in the no camp?
I think also yes, but really it's more like I don't know. We'll have to wait like
300 years,
500 years more
Exactly.
yet to find out.
I think that in 500 years nobody would remember Sam Smith, but they will remember pop, like, in general. I think, like, I mean, maybe pop will still exist and will still be how it is nowadays.
I changed my mind.
Yeah, I mean, the point
I
is
changed
that,
my mind. I say yes.
Yeah,
because I remember that Beatles is pop.
yeah, exactly. And Beatles will be remembered for the next. I mean, I dare to say for the next 400 years. Like, it would be super like ancient stuff, but as long as no meteorite falls on the Earth, because you know my fear to meteorites, not my fear, but my contemplation of meteorites. So okay, there is a lot to discuss. So we all agree that the contents of a pop song is relevant as human history of Plato and Bach. That's great. So, I mean, when I ask what role does music plays in the shaping of culture, I'm asking you, like, well, I guess that these two questions are very similar in nature. But let's say that let's start zooming into this idea little by little. So the answers that we can take for what roles does music plays in shaping culture is a lot or a little. You know.
What do you mean shaping?
Like, for example, the way culture it is it connected to music in some way? Yes or no? A lot or a little?
Sure.
I think, like Andrei says, yes, it's true. Any other opinions here? I think we all are going to agree here, obviously. That's why we're in this course, and I was expecting that. It's not a surprise. Anybody else has a different opinion about this? I think where we may be going to disagree is in the last one, maybe, perhaps. Let's see. Everybody agrees that music plays a big role in the creation of modern culture.
Sometimes it seems like vice versa, like culture shapes the music.
Excellent idea. A lot. Excellent idea. Sometimes culture shapes music. That's really cool. Culture shapes music. Yeah, and that's I think the most accurate answer. You know, sometimes culture shapes music. Sometimes music shapes culture. You know, think about shapes culture. Think about, I mean, the example of Nirvana, for example. I mean, just thinking that why Nirvana sounds like it sounded. You know, it sounds like it sounded because it was an expression of culture, and then it became so huge that it shaped culture. But it kind of started as a reaction to what was already happening, what was already there. So I really love that answer, and that's a really cool idea. I guess we can move on from this question because the next one is the one that is going to be more complex, I think. And by the way, I wanted to say something here, and I need you guys' help a lot. Because I have a feeling that in America, this is more intense than in Russia. Am I right about that? I'm not sure of that. I'm saying it very lightly, you know, because I don't know the Russian music like you guys do, because I don't have Russian parents who showed me Russian songs. And I don't know chanson. I don't know so many things. Is it equally intense here as in America?
I think overall, like, culture influence on the person is less intense in Russia. But
Yes.
like overall, like this media presence is less. But like music is the same part, just the whole thing is a bit smaller.
Yeah,
if you
good
know
point.
what I mean.
Good point. So I'm gonna write here something like in America, the media landscape is more intense than in Russia and relevant to shaping the culture. Yeah? Would be something like that? Would you agree with the way I portrayed your thought?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, if a song about this is, and now we're getting into my opinion, and I really don't mean to use this lecture to sell you my opinion. It's just I want us to understand how important music really is for culture, you know. So I'm zooming in one level lower. So if there is a song about, I'm gonna use a very extreme case. Well, let me think about. Be careful with what I say because I'm also streaming on YouTube, and they can just like send me the police or something. If I make a song about beating your friends, you know, I'm gonna punch my friend in the face, you know, and I'm celebrating the fact that punching your friends is a really cool thing, and then the song wins a Grammy. Does that mean that society has some relationship with that concept, or it doesn't mean that at all?
I guess it depends on like overall situation in the world. So if a song is just great by it is, and it's about beating people, but nothing really violent happens in the world, so in that case maybe it's not represents the culture it is.
It kind of depends on the state of the world. If a song calls for violence in a non-violent society, then we can't say that it's matched to the culture, to the root culture. Like, any opinions here? Other opinions?
Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's correct or incorrect, because
Yeah,
there's
I
no
see.
correct
I
and
just
incorrect
I'm
here.
not sure if I'm telling. Like,
Because I don't know, it's kind of like sometimes, for example, Sirius, my son, like sometimes he expresses a lot of rage, and he's like he can be aggressive, but he's not an aggressive person. But when he shows me rage, I just think there is something underlying this. You know, it's not out of nowhere that he's showing me this. It's like something, there is a root under that, you know, that I can follow and understand. And most likely is the appearance of his brother in his life and the fact that he has to deal with another person now. but this doesn't manifest itself in his everyday life. But if you analyze it carefully, you will see that what you see in the surface, which is something like a Grammy-winning song, I mean, it's the surface of music, there is a root underlying that. Sorry, did you wanted to say something, Grisha?
Yeah, like overall answer to this question for me is no.
You're in
Just
the no
because
camp.
Grammy is not like an election, at least. It's
Mhm.
like there is a jury or something. It's not like everybody vote for the winners. At least this.
Of the culture. Like, I mean, it's not representative of the culture as in whole. Do you agree with that? As a whole. Like, if a song wins a Grammy, can we use that song to describe profound elements of the society that gave that award? It depends on the state of the world, or no, it is not representative of the culture as a whole. Did I got your answer right?
Sorry, like we discussed this with Polina for a bit. Can you repeat it?
Yeah. If a song wins a Grammy, can we use that song to describe profound elements of the society that gave that award? And the answer that I interpreted from you is like, no, it is not representative of the culture as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's cool. And that means that we disagree on this, and the rest of the lecture is going to be like interesting because we're going to be in different points of view, and that's great. That's exactly what I want. I mean, I want disagreement. Any other opinions here about this? My opinion is like that. Yes, definitely shows signs of something that is going on behind the curtains. When I say behind the curtains, I don't mean like the Illuminati or the or the lizard people or something like that. I'm just trying to tell you something similar to what I said about my son. You know, when he shows me, my son is a very peaceful person. When he shows me rage, I go and I research that because I'm thinking, where did this rage came from? If a society, what are most Russian songs about? If you can make an amalgamation of songs, like it's chanson. It's about lost love and drunkenness and going to prison. Am I right?
Chanson?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a prison music only, yeah.
Yeah, it's about going to prison, right? Kind of. And prisoner's life. Not all chanson.
Yeah.
I know that not all chanson is like that, but a lot of chanson is like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this experiment with Russia. There is the Grammys of Russia is called what? What's the name of the equivalent?
Золотой граммофон,
Ага.
вроде как.
The Zolotoy Gramophone. It's called like that, right?
I'm not sure.
Zolotoy Gramophone. Yeah, I have. Wait, Zolotoy. Let me just translate here. Can somebody?
No, but you can open previous.
There was something there.
Yeah. Like on the right.
Here, Golden Gramophone Russia. Okay, Golden Gramophone. Let me see if there is a list of the.
You can see it. You can open the Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Yes,
here. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, view 45 and more. So Mitya, you know who is Mitya Fomin?
No.
I don't know too. I don't know too. But he won the last gramophone. By the way, isn't that a cousin of Polina? By the way. Or is it?
I can see it.
There are like
I
thousands
don't
of them in Russia then.
Okay, I want
It's
to
a
see.
very popular surname.
So I want to see. I want to see just like what's the gramophone? Why did he want it? Golden or everything will be good, like the song. Oh wait, he has won it several times. I see. And actually, this is 2010. No, I think this is wrong. Like I'm trying to find a song that won some sort of like Grammy thing recently. Golden Gramophone Awards. Let me see the latest one. 2022. No? Is there a 2022 version? I just wanted to see if we hear...
Я знаю, кто выиграл граммофон. Шаман.
Shaman?
Наверное.
Aha,
Я не знаю.
Okay, so I just want to hear one song that Shaman...
Yes.
Я русский.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the song, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put it.
It's terrible, be careful.
Okay, yeah, that's good that it's terrible. I mean,
It's so popular, bro.
Okay.
Like it's insane.
the golden gramophone phone in Russia. So let's just see 1 second this, and let's see if this tells us something about Russian culture. Like that's what I wanna kind of like explore. You know, of tells us something about the place where Russian culture is right now. Maybe you already know the answer to that because you know the song, but we will see. Shaman, ya Ruski, Música Slova, Shaman. Thanks. Like I mean, they have to put his name twice in the title of the video because you know maybe you will forget who it was. So let me just leave this here and explore. Well, let's see 1 second this, and I'm gonna play the. I'm gonna see the lyrics.
Я вдыхаю этот воздух, солнце в небе смотрит на меня. Надо мной летает вольный ветер, он такой же, как и я. И хочется
So I mean, obviously we understand the context of what's going on, and it's telling us a lot about Russian culture right now. I mean, it's just like there are these questions, you know, that their country is going on. Do you agree with me? I mean, right away, I don't need to hear anything else about this. It's obvious that this song is representative of Russian culture, where it is right now. Maybe it's not the culture that we are in, because we live in a subculture, all of us in Moscow Music School. But this song represents the question that the country is experiencing right now. Like, am I proud to be a Russian or not? You know, despite of all the bullshit that is going on. Am I right, or do I get it wrong?
He's a very politically driven artist. He's like
In favor
voice of
in
Kremlin
favor.
right now
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything like
it's
this.
some form of propaganda.
It's like a propaganda song, and I honestly I don't know what is more popular, like some Noise MC new song or like Shaman. I really don't
Well,
know.
let's let the numbers speak to us. Like Shaman, this video has 26 million views, and Noise MC. What's the name? Noise MC. What's the name of the song? What song? Like a new one. Let's see here in Noise MC. Videos. Any which one I should focus? Can you choose one, or Strana Dashdi?
Dashdi, for example.
Well,
Yeah.
It's like 26 millions versus 3.8. It's huge anyways. But and this is the opposite ideological side, right? Am I right? I'm asking a question.
It's like he's kind of. It's just the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah,
to be honest.
it's not. We don't need to make a PhD on this. Just like a general discussion. You know, these two songs are representative of the Russian culture, for sure. Like, and well, I mean, I haven't checked out what Strana Dashdi is about. If you know what it is about, can you tell me, or you have never heard the song?
I heard part of it, like I just know that like Noise MC releases a lot of like this anti-propaganda songs.
Okay,
like,
cool.
And Monetочка also does this. I'm not like exactly sure, but like that's what happens right now because like Shaman is very politically driven, and he's like has the support of whole like government probably.
Yes. Are they representative of Russian culture? Now, let me continue. I think we are agreeing that these two songs are representative of Russian culture, and now I want to know your question. This is your answer. This is an interesting question. I think that Shaman, it's more. I mean, when you are in the center of Russia and some taxi driver picks you up in the airport in Nizhny-Kamsk and he drives you somewhere. That person is closer to Shaman than to Noise MC. Am I right or am I wrong? Or you don't know?
I think that you're wrong.
Okay. Okay.
Still,
Yeah, that's
just because I don't think like that a lot. It's a very political question. And
of course we are there now. We're talking about politics right now. Yeah. Like,
and
you know how I
I
measure
don't
this?
feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people that enjoy like message of Shaman. I think it's more like made up that he's popular. Like,
Okay, that's a question that obviously this is going to be a part of our conversation right now. I regret I didn't add it, and I will add it. Video. So wait, this is going to be important in our conversation in a bit. Did I add it? Maybe I did add it later. No, I didn't. Okay, great. So okay, let's not stop in that question because I don't think we will reach an agreement there. I mean, I personally believe, and that's my personal belief of the situation that is going on right now, that the majority of the country it's leaning towards this way of thinking. And when I say the majority, I mean for my split is 60-40. I think that 40% of the country think like a noise MC, and I mean I'm making a generalization, and 60% of the country thinks like Shaman. I mean, I can be 100% wrong, and you shouldn't take these ideas. And it's not what I like or what I want. It's just what I think it's happening in terms of numbers, you know. But I don't think that we're gonna reach to a conclusion about this. But I think we reached to a conclusion that these two songs, they are top hits and they are representative of Russian culture. I mean, if you sample them out of nowhere and you try to see what questions are Russians asking, you know, the question is not should transsexual people participate in sports or not. The questions are more like existential about the nature of the country. Can we agree on this, or we still don't disagree on this?
I didn't quite understand what you were saying right now.
What I was saying is this: are these songs showing us important questions that we should imagine that you're a foreigner, you're trying to understand Russian culture? Are these songs relevant to understand Russian culture or not?
The right one.
This one is
No.
Strana Dождей?
I haven't heard this music, but I know I'm familiar with this artist.
So you think that the right one is useful to understand Russian culture, but the left one no? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, but you see, like if you guys wants to understand Venezuela, you know, if I give you the music that I listen or that I find interesting, it will not be representative of Venezuelan culture at all. Like, I will have to show you something pro Chavez, because the majority of my country believes in Chavez, you know. Like, not exactly like a song about Chavez or the Chavez or whatever. It's just more like something that represents the mainstream view of Venezuela, which is not the mainstream view that I hold. Sorry, the view that I hold. So, I mean, we are in some sort of disagreement here, and that's fine. I claim that obviously these songs, both of them, contain immense information about the state of Russian culture that has nothing to do whether we like them or not, or whether we think they're cool or not. Like, they both represent something important of the culture of this country, you know. And if you disagree, that's fine. But I guess we can move on so we can kind of like explore other ideas. Now, is music, I'm asking here a question, is music a political tool? Because, tool as well. Because, let's have a look at this. Come on. Let me just put this, clean it a little bit and put here Jill Biden in the Grammys. Jill Biden in the 2023 Grammys. So, this thing of Shaman, obviously, I'm going to come back to this slide in a second. This thing of Shaman obviously can be fabricated by the Kremlin, and most likely is fabricated by the Kremlin to push an idea into people. Do you agree with that? That's kind of what you meant, Grisha, right?
I'm not saying like that it's all fabricated. I think partly both of them have like bots and everything, but
Sure.
I think it's like it's forced into people.
It's forced into people.
And I don't think that's what I meant by it's not representing. It's like something alien that's like being put into people.
Great.
It might become in some time something like that becomes a huge part of culture. But right now, for me, it feels like this huge alien like liquid that pull into your ears.
I love
That's
what you're
how
saying.
it looks.
I love what you're saying. Now let's see the same equivalent in the USA. The same thing. It's just like when the USA wants to destabilize another country, they do things like this. You know, of course. Well, let's hear it and then discuss it. It's 2 minutes. It's the wife of the president of the United States in the Grammys, 48 hours.
Bro, what do you mean?
Huh?
How a song about nostalgic love can be a representation of a culture? How?
This
How
song
come?
is not about nostalgic love. The song that we are discussing
I mean
here.
the Harry Styles one.
No, very much. I mean, I guess that you missed something. You missed something. South Park had a whole bunch of jokes around something they were calling member berries. Like all the reboot of Star Wars, like you know, the member berries was like this was happening in the last 7 years, kind of like. Look, member berries are sentient fruit. This is a character in South Park. It's like some berries that when you eat them, you start becoming nostalgic about things that were happening in the past. Member berries are sentient fruit that used by Mr. Mackey in his office. Well, this is going to be too advanced South Park knowledge. Like, the point is that South Park was joking about this for a while because of the reboot of Star Wars and the reboot of all the things that were done. Do you follow me what I mean there?
Yeah.
I mean, that culture right now is kind of stuck in a loop and looking back. And I think that the song of Harry Styles also can connect with this. You know, did you feel my point?
Yeah, okay. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell me, Grish, bratan.
I'm just I just wanted to share you about like this unholy song. I like it because it's like the first song ever where I clearly heard the mode. Like I didn't know which mode it was, but it's like it's in some mode. It's like
that's really nice.
it's not just a scale.
Of course.
And that's why I actually like it a
Of
lot.
course,
Like
of
this
course.
phrase doing something on it's in mode and I like it.
Yeah, that's right. I get your
It's a
point. and
bit
that's really cool.
different.
Let's see the lyrics 1 second. So the lyrics are, yeah. Mommy don't know daddy's getting hot at the body shop doing something unholy. So I mean, it's like it starts with infidelity. I mean, the song is well, I don't know if it's about infidelity, but that's the first line. It's like mommy is at home, daddy is doing something, and what he's doing is unholy. So, and he likes it. So he likes to be unfaithful to his woman. A lucky girl, she got married to a boy like you. She'd kick you out if she ever knew. But all the shit you tell me to do, dirty boy, you don't know everyone is talking about on the scene. I hear them whisper about the places that, you see, like, we're going to analyze it a little bit more. The existential problem of Russia is like, are you a Russian or not? Come on, like, look at everything that's, like, I'm not telling you that this is good. I'm not saying that this is good. I don't like it. But the question that the songs that we're exploring up here was like, can you be proud of being Russian or not? You know, like, I'm not saying that if you like shaman, you're proud of being Russian. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that these are the questions that this song is asking. I don't know what's the Strana-DA, but let's assume that it's right now about the situation, and because I really don't know, and I'm not going to go into it right now. But the general topic of this author, according to what you're telling me of Noise and Sea, is connected to the politics and where are we as a nation right now, considering that we are at war. But the question that these songs are asking are not connected to the nature of the American vector. They're more connected to individual topics about me, how I remember things from the past. And it connects a lot with what I was discussing to you about, man, there is like a second world war happening on with my kids back there. I mean, I don't know what's going on, sorry. So, and of course, discussing topics like sexuality very much. These topics in Russia are discussed in a very different way. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's more like lost love kind of thing. If I'm wrong, please tell me. I guess that Russian music also will touch the topic of infidelity a lot too. But
What's
okay,
infidelity?
it touches the topic of infidelity, right?
What does it mean?
When you have a wife and you cheat on your wife or your husband.
It's related to rap music, hip hop.
Okay. So I mean, and when we see this performance, I mean, and I said this is obviously made by the Illuminati. Now here is a question that I ask: like, does this mean that America is in a satanic moment or not? That's and I don't. You can take this question however you want. I just dropped it like that. You know.
Yes.
Andrei says yes.
No.
Grisha says no. Olga, are you with us? Okay, it's okay if you can't speak or if there's no.
No, I'm here.
Yeah.
The question is, can you repeat, please?
Like, can you say by looking at this performance of Sam Smith, like, does this tell you something about the state of culture or not? Does it mean that America is going through some sort of like, I don't like to use the word satanic because I know that many of the Russian nationalists that are super pro-war are saying that America is Satan. I really don't mean it like that at all. I really don't mean it like that. But then you will later see the argumentation of Ben Shapiro and see why I'm building all this idea. So, do you think that when you watch this, can you conclude like, fuck man, America is kind of going through some dark period or not? Or is
Yes, bro. Like, just ask Karamir.
Yeah, sorry. This lecture is becoming a little bit like an Armili lecture. I don't mean it in that way. I hope it's different.
Actually, then I was looking at this video and like Nicki Minaj video. I remembered Armili
Yeah.
and what he was talking about mediocrity in America and stuff.
And I think that that's as important as the. I agree. So you're calling it mediocre, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. That's amazing point. Like, obviously, it's connected to that too. Now, what I really don't want. I understand this criticism to Armir, and I really don't want to fall in there. Like, I that's not my intention. My intention is not to convince you to have my own point of view. My intention is to convince you that these things are really relevant. They're not just like, they just played something. No. Like, what they do in something like the Grammys is a very representative thing of the state of culture. Whether we like that or not, that's another question, at all. Like, if you were to watch the Golden Gramophone, I'm sure it's going to be loaded about messages about the soldiers that are in the front lines now and all of that, because they are discussing, and the performances will be connected with that, etc. Okay, I think we can move on a little bit. So the point is on the table, and I think the point is pretty clear right now. This is the cultural discussion that I saw around the Grammys, like, and what came out. So, Kim Petras, Sam Smith becomes first trans and non-binary winners of Pop Duo Grammy. This is CBS. The headline about the whole Grammys is that a person who is a trans won it. Like, okay, I don't have any problems with that. I don't disagree or agree. All I'm showing you is like what the media has focused on. BBC, which is a global, this is more American news, a global news outlet, is kind of like, Beyonce, Queen Beyonce. Oh my God, we love Beyonce. By the way, Beyonce arrived late to the Grammys and missed one of her awards, by the way, which is pretty crazy, but it really happened. And so she won, like, broke the records of how many Grammys, etc. The Daily Wire, which is the news company that Ben Shapiro founded, so obviously is tilted towards this. Literally attribute to Satan, viewer slam demonic performance at the Grammy. So there is a whole bunch of people in the USA that sees this and it's like, man, why is our culture playing with this? Like, is this a good thing or not a good thing? I don't know, but there is a conversation about it. And CNN, which is the opposite side of the Daily Wire, they see it more like the Grammys say they would embrace diversity, and Sunday Night felt like they honored that. So they are focused on diversity. I mean, the fact that these people, have sexual orientations that are non-traditional, and they won. Congratulations, that's all great. By the way, we skipped here the Beyonce song, and we also skipped here something else that I have there. Have you heard this Break My Soul by Beyonce? Everybody, I think it's important, if you haven't heard it, just to give it a second of a listen. Have you heard it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really nice song. I really like it. What I find interesting about it is how retro it is. It's extremely retro. I mean, it's bang on 90s, like, without a single change from a song from the 90s. Like, so I'm just gonna play a couple of seconds.
I don't like Beyonce's new song.
Get out of here before I break your soul.
I mean, it doesn't get more retro So, I mean, this song basically it is about LGBT rights, and it's about the fact that, I mean, I am who I am, and you will not break my soul. Whatever your opinion is about my sexuality, orientation, or whatever, or everything I do, you will not break my soul. And that's great. That's all cool. Again, it's a representation of the culture. So what do we have? We have a song about nostalgia, and it's in retro themes of the 80s, pop song. Sam Smith is more like, you know, how would you call that? Let's hear it a little bit, just so it's like, what, like... This is actually quite a contemporary arrangement, right off the bat.
Lucky, lucky girl. She got married to a boy like you. She kick you out if she ever knew about all the you tell me the truth.
So I would say something kind of like contemporary arrangement. Contemporary arrangement. If you disagree, please come in and say it. Like, it would be really cool. This is like the production discussion, more to see where the trends are. It's a bit of a contemporary arrangement, minimalistic in nature, interesting choice of modes. We're gonna finish soon, guys. Sorry that I'm taking up so much of your time. I just want to finish this conversation so we can drop this topic. Interesting use of modes. I would say is harmonically rich. I mean, I don't know if you noticed the backing vocals that it has, like in that little clip that I played. Yeah, please say it. I don't know who is going to talk, but just go ahead.
Me, like this.
and star power.
As we are witnessing history tonight.
But the throne belonging to the one and only Queen herself.
So yeah, okay, Beyonce is great. Like, I mean, that's the whole point of this reportage, and everything was cool. And there is no conversation about the cultural implications of this. Is this relevant or not? This is kind of the job for other type of analysts, of other type of people. So we go back to that question, like if a song wins a Grammy, and can we use that song to describe profound elements of society? And that was the whole point of this lecture. And remember, like, let me just put this down here right after that, you know, yeah, like, I'm gonna just I mean, in the flow of the lecture, we in this moment remember that we're in a postmodern moment, and we use textures and imagery to describe complex idea. We move away from language. And here's Ben Shapiro's interpretation of it. So this is in this video, I've seen it all, and it's quite long, and I guess that we're not going to watch it right now, but I mean, I guess maybe a couple of minutes just so you can get a feeling of what somebody like him thinks about the Grammys. Meditations on John Milton Paradise Lost. I don't know if you know what John Milton Paradise Lost is, but it's one of the most wonderful works in literature history. It was a book written in the 1600s. This video contains meditations on John Milton Paradise Lost, transgressive events. Transgressive events means when celebrities do something to try to be controversial, like on purpose, you know. Transgressive events and the modern interpretation of the transcendent and the nature of good and evil. So that's what this topic is going to talk about.
Joe Biden orders the shoot down of a Chinese spy balloon after it traverses the entire continental United States. Disney Plus goes woker and woker, and we examine the wildest moments from the Grammys. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show.
We're just going to hear the monologue, the initial monologue, and I will not...
Joe Biden orders the shoot down...
I really invite you to watch this all, because it's a great analysis. Shoot down of it's a very, very powerful analysis of culture, in my estimation. Whether we agree with him or not, it's just a great level of debate. I wish that we will have this level of debate in Russia too. But
after it traverses the entire continental United States. So this is the bench.
Keep a little bit.
Listened or well, folks. Last night was the Grammys, and I know that pretty much no one in my audience listened or watched the Grammys last night because we had better things to do: shampooing our hair, hanging ourselves. I mean, there are many things that would have been better than watching the Grammys last night. But it is important to note what happens at major cultural events, largely because it exposes the minds and the souls of the people who produce these events and the people who shape your kids. Because
okay, so what about that? What about that sentence? I mean, do you feel it? That's what the lecture is exactly about. Now, do you feel that, or is he stupid by saying that? There is no connection between these people who created these songs, the imagery they chose, and what they believe. Or
kids do not listen to Sam Smith's Unholy. They like watch dumb YouTube videos with a lot of colors now.
But when he's talking about kids, he's talking about you guys. I mean, about people of the age of you or younger. He's not talking about 9-year-old kids. Like, he's talking about when Sirius is 17 or something. Like
I watch not dumb videos on YouTube. I watch dumb shorts on YouTube. That's the thing. Grammys is not.
You cannot judge culture from your perspective. Like,
I don't think that a lot of people my age actually watch the Grammys.
No,
I think they're older.
Okay, now when I met all of you, I had never heard Billie Eilish, and I met like 15 people of the course look like Billie Eilish. Exactly like Billie Eilish. I mean, look like the physical photocopy of Billie Eilish, like aesthetically. There is like 15 people in all the bachelors that look exactly like Billie Eilish. Dress exactly the same way, acts exactly the same way, create songs that are in the same way. This is not a bad thing. I'm just saying this is influential. I mean, I look and think like the singers that I like, you know. I think this is influential. Yeah. And if we disagree, it's beautiful that we disagree. It's fine.
The thing that I think we have problems because I do not disagree with you that those major culture events
are
they
influential.
Important for like showing how our society lives. I just don't think that Grammy is such a major event.
I agree with you. It's just like we are using it as a representation because it's very big. I mean, we don't know what happened in the Indian Music Awards or whatever.
Just I'm more like attaching to this one thing that you're saying, but overall I agree with you. I just do not think the same about Grammys.
Yeah, I mean, you can change Grammys for top charts or whatever. Like, I also think that the Grammys are disappearing as a culture, but as a cultural event. But dude, the wife of the president was there. I mean, that's certainly more important than your or my opinion about is that event relevant. You know, the wife of the president opened a hole in her calendar to go to give a speech in that place. I mean, that's really hard to get that booking in your calendar. You know, and she will not have done this if it's not culturally relevant, and if they didn't have an agenda to push that Iranian song, which again I'm sure is beautiful. Well, anyways, let's continue hearing a little bit.
Because while you may not be listening to the music of Harry Styles, while you may not be engaging with the absurdities of Sam Smith, there's a good shot that your kids are, or that their friends are, or that people in the culture who shape them are, and that's a real problem. Because you know, well, we can easily say it's performative pearl clutching, you know, worrying about what they do at the Grammys. They're obviously trying to be provocative. They're trying to be transgressive. You can go all the way back to David Bowie and Madonna. What we saw last night at the Grammys was actually something that was rather new in kind, because it wasn't just transgressivism.
Transgressivism means, again, to be provocative, to do something that will piss you off.
In the sense that it was adopting symbols of religion, for example, in order to sort of shame those symbols of religion, the same way that Madonna sort of tried to cross the virgin whore boundaries in her imagistics. What we saw last night was a full-scale embrace of Satanism on a major American network show. That's an amazing thing. And it's an amazing thing because what it really speaks to, in a much deeper way, is what Western culture now has to say about evil and the nature of good.
So, I mean, that's where I stop, because I really don't want to sell you this opinion. What I do want to sell you is that I think we should make such deep analysis of these things, whether we're going to go, and that's why I think philosophy is so important, whether we're going to go in support or against something like this. I wish that media commentators would be focusing on things at this level of depth of analysis. It's not irrelevant that they just decided to do a performance like that. It tells you a lot. And it tells you a lot about the meaning of music in our culture, you know. And that's kind of what I wanted us to remember, you know, that we are shaping the culture with the music that we are making. And that if you sit down and analyze it carefully, you can arrive to such a deep point of view, you know, which this thing is going to go and analyze. This video is going to go and analyze Paradise Lost by John Milton, and it's going to tell you something really interesting, which is that in the 19th century, there is a poet that was analyzing from the 19th century backwards. He was analyzing John Milton's Paradise Lost, and he was saying how modernity migrated towards the cult of the individual. And so this person in the 19th century argues that in that book of John Milton, the good guy is Satan. And so he's kind of like bringing this in. Like, we are in a moment in which some people are expressing with their art some sort of admiration to that idea. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't care if it's a good or a bad thing. What I care is that we don't forget that the creation of culture and music go hand in hand, and that the singles that we create are inside these trends, and that the singles that we create are also inside a musical, obviously, trends that are important, and also a cultural trends that are important. So anyways, I just wanted to stimulate our thoughts and close our semester with that. I have another video here that I'm not going to even play. I haven't even seen it. All I want is just to have the extreme opposite points of view. So Jacobin is the most left-handed music industry, publication in the world. It's like super lefty. And Ben Shapiro is on the right, and they disagree on everything, but they agree that the corporate world of music is really corrupt and fucked up, and that's another story. I just put it there for that. So, any thoughts, guys? I hope that this was stimulating in some form and could put some ideas in your head, or I hope it was not a waste of your time. That's kind of what I wanted to say.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Great. I'm very grateful to hear that, because all these lectures that I'm giving you are an experiment, and I'm always very nervous when I give them. So I don't want you to waste an hour and a half of your life. But what I really want you to do is kind of to maybe rethink and take these things as seriously as I think they are. This is the level of analysis where I live. The level of analysis when Ben Shapiro is. If I see that song of Shaman, you know, I don't think that, oh no, whatever, look, this is just happening. No. This is really important to understand Russia. And if this is really important to understand Russia, then this is really important to understand America. And sometimes we forget how important our craft is, and this is how important it is. Okay, guys, so a last quick commentary here before we move on. So we're gonna, I think that this is what's gonna happen now. Wait, so lectures 2022. We discussed briefly this last week, but I want to close this today. So we are in lecture 17, and there is this lecture 18 and 19. Like I told you, I want to make, I'm sorry for this, Grisha, and I already told it to you, I want to make some sort of practice in DTH that will eat 2 lectures. It would be like a 3-hour practice in DTH. And so at the moment, our calendar, this is really important, please tell it to your friends. Like at the moment, our calendar for this lecture, it should appear in your UU app that we have a lecture on the 14 and on the 21. That should be in your calendar, in my theory, if I'm not mistaken. Those 2 lectures will be combined in one day. And that day, most likely, is going to be Thursday 16 at 3 p.m. From 3 to 6 p.m. Are you kind of making note? Is it clear?
So next Thursday, you said?
Next Thursday, I think we're going to have a practice in DTH, and Grisha, I will do the best I can do to stream there, to give you some like connection so you're connected. But all I want you to, I will triple mega confirm this in the next days. Wait, let me just put this here. I will triple mega confirm this in the next days, but there is a very big possibility that our schedule is going to contradict a little bit what it says in the UU app. I don't want to change it because I get paid when the lectures appear in the UU app. If they don't appear in the UU app, I don't get paid. So maybe then I don't want to touch that. I want to leave those lectures there, but maybe we will manipulate the schedule a little bit and we will just group 2 lectures in one, and those lectures will happen on Thursday 16 in Studio A. In Studio A. Okay? Anybody else there heard me? Because the only person who is telling me okay is Grisha, who is not in Russia.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Great. So I will triple confirm this. Just be alert that maybe next Tuesday there will not be a lecture. It will happen on Thursday in the evening in DTH. Okay? And it will account for 2 lectures. So maybe we will not have lecture on Tuesday 14 and on Tuesday 21, but we will have 2 lectures in one on Thursday 16. I'll keep you posted about that. When I confirm it, I'll write you all. Okay?
I have a quick question about